Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and you're watching our special show Reset India, where we talk about all the sectors of Indian economy, what all needs to be done there in those sectors. So today our focus will be the pharma sector. Today we're going to talk about Indian pharmaceutical companies. Where do we stand? What exactly needs to be done to bring that reset mode in this particular sector? And one recent decision on this aspect has been the PLI scheme announced by the Government of India for Indian pharma sector. So we'll look at all aspects, and we have two very important guests with us as well for more details on this. Mr. Randeep Rinwa is joining us. He's Joint Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Government of India. We're also joined by Mr. Pradeep Multani, Vice President, Senior Vice President at the PHD Chamber of Commerce and Chairman of Multani Pharmaceuticals Limited. Welcome both of you gentlemen to Rajya Sabha TV. Before I come to you, Mr. Rinwa and Mr. Pradeep, let us also give our viewers a bit of a lowdown on what exactly is the PLI scheme. Let's look at the salient features here, and then we'll ask Mr. Rinwa to go ahead and further explain that to us. So if you look at your screen, then this particular scheme for the pharma industry is to benefit domestic manufacturers and help in creating employment. The two key objectives there: and improve accessibility, affordability of medical products for the consumers, promote production of high-value products as well, increase value addition in exports, also generating more employment for both skilled and unskilled personnel. Also promoting innovation for development of the computer aspect, bringing in investment of 15,000 crore rupees in pharmaceutical sector. Obviously, more investments will result in more innovation, more research, and obviously will give it more spur to the entire industry. So these are some of the key highlights, some of the key features there. Let's now, bring in our panelists here, our guests with us. And let me begin with you, Mr. Rinwa. Let's start by elaborating on these pointers which we showed to our viewers, specifically with respect to the PLI scheme and also the overview of the Indian pharmaceutical industry.
Thank you, Vishal, for inviting me to this program. And the Indian pharmaceutical industry is known as world over as the pharmacy of the world. The reason being, we produce very good quality medicines at very affordable prices. And many countries, developing countries of the world, such as countries in Africa, have made use of low price, good quality medicines of India, made in India, to combat deadly diseases like HIV, AIDS, etc. And the viewers would be happy to note that even not only developing countries, but even well-regulated markets like the United States of America, the exports of India account for more than about 50% go to well-regulated markets. So we are very good as far as quality is concerned. And if we talk about US Food Drug Administration approved plants outside the United States of America, India is a country with the maximum number of US FDA approved plants. And in pharmaceutical sector, the domestic market is about 20 billion US dollars, and same is the exports, the value of exports that we do per year. So it's 50-50 as far as domestic sales and exports are concerned.
Okay.
And pharmaceutical sector earns a lot of foreign exchange for India. And we are proud of this industry. And to give a further boost to this industry, the government has come out with production-linked incentive scheme for bulk drugs, which came out last year. And this year, we have come out with a new scheme worth 15,000 crores called PLI schemes for pharmaceuticals. Okay,
we'll come to the PLI scheme part, Mr. Rinwa, but since you gave us an overview of what exactly the situation is in the Indian pharma industry, let's also take the industry viewpoint on the same aspect. Mr. Pradeep Multani, from your point of view, from industry's point of view, sir, how would you view the Indian pharmaceutical industry, the way our prowess is, and where do we stand vis-a-vis the global standards and the outcomes?
Thank you. Basically, the Indian pharmaceutical industry, as Mr. Rinwa mentioned, we are the pharmacy of the world. And world over, we are known for our outstanding quality. We have had major issues previously in the past with regard to the dumping by the Chinese companies, because they have, by subsidizing Chinese companies, they have been able to make our Indian industries non-competitive, absolutely uncompetitive. So now with this PLI scheme, one strongly feels that yes, we will get a level playing field, because all the Indian industry needs is a level playing field and ease of doing business, so that we can take, I think we can take on the best in the world. And we can definitely increase quality products, and also value-wise products also we can grow up in a very, very big way.
Okay, definitely, and that prowess has been, demonstrated time and again in the past few years. We've seen, and the figures which were quoted by Mr. Rinwa are also a clear indication, clear example of what the situation is. Let's now move on to these, these government schemes. Specifically, if you're looking at the production-linked incentive scheme, which has been recently, announced by the cabinet. What is the motive behind that? One, Mr. Rinwa, and two, what are the key highlights which will then, result in implementation of effective implementation, so that those motives, those goals can be reached?
Vishal, the objectives of bringing out this scheme is to promote production and exports in the sector, bring more investments in the sector, and create employment opportunities through this sector, and also to create global champions by supporting the Indian manufacturers. And if you see in the scheme, we have given three categories of products. The first category is of those products which require more R&D, more investment, are difficult to make. The second category is of the bulk drugs. And the third category is of the medicines which are already being produced, but the therapeutic groups are very important for Indian population and world, such as anti-cancer, anti-HIV, anti-diabetic drugs, and so on. The idea is to give incentives to manufacturers for incremental production of these selected drugs compared to the production in year 2019-20. And the incentives will be given for 6 years. The idea is to incentivize manufacturers to increase production of these selected drugs, so that India can go on to high value products from the simple generics in which we are champions in the world. We want our industry to go to the next higher level, which will bring more value in terms of high value exports, and would also make these medicines affordable in the country if they start producing such patented drugs or complex generics, biopharmaceuticals in the country.
Okay. Mr. Bultani, from your point of view, from industry's point of view, the way this entire scheme has been formulated, as Mr. Rinwa was pointing out, specific target groups have been made, then the quantum of incentive has also been specified out there, and the objective of the scheme. So how would you look at, how does the industry looks at this particular scheme, specifically in today's period when we're trying to overcome the COVID effect?
See, firstly, of course, any scheme which the government offers industry is more than welcome. However, basically the scheme says that this scheme is for enhancing India's manufacturing capabilities and enhancing exports. Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, if the scheme offering 10% initially, then it gets reduced, comes down to 6%. You see, industry would definitely like that this scheme, if it had been for a flat period of 10 years, because why we are requesting for 10 years is because if we have to enhance our production capacity, then to be able to go through those 35 departments, it is a phenomenal task on the ground level. So it takes minimum 2 to 3 years to be able to get all those requisite permissions. That is first. And secondly, of course, getting land allotment, even building more infrastructure, ordering machines. The starting point for this achieving this purpose will take 2-3 years. So industry would like a flat 10 years time from date of start of production.
Okay.
So that we know we can plan it out that after 2-3 years we can start working on this enhanced capacity, and we will have 10 clear clean years in which we will get 10% performance linked incentive on incremental production from the government.
Okay.
And also what we would really like is that they have given 10% for 2 categories and 5% for 1 category.
Mm-hmm.
I think a flat 10% for all the categories would be very much in order, because this 10% which the government is giving to us, with the sort of revenues which we will generate, the government will be more than compensated by GST and employment generation and all sort of taxes. So if it was a flat 10% spread over those 10 years, I think industry would definitely welcome that.
Okay.
If I may also add another point,
Please.
You see, looking at the past history of China, now that China knows what is being offered to Indian industry, the Indian government should kindly ensure that again China will not resort to dumping the way it did 15-20 years ago, when India had excellent APIs production capacity, but thanks to the dumping, the Indian industry got wiped out. So we have to ensure China doesn't dump in India, and also it doesn't route its products through third world countries.
Okay.
This is my line of thinking, please, from the industry point of view.
Let's take those suggestions to Mr. Rinwai. So, Mr. Rinwai, what I'm saying is that, the suggestions which are coming in from Mr. Multani, and quite significant as well, we would like to have your response on these 2 aspects. One is, as the industry is suggesting, that the entire incentive should be a flat 10% for a period of 10 years so that it becomes easy for the industry to go ahead and implement and then reap benefits, and eventually for the government also to have the incremental benefits there. And the second aspect is to protect the industry from the issue of dumping.
Thank you, Vishal. I would like to say that the Department of Pharmaceutical has prepared the scheme after a series of consultations with the representatives of the industry, the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance, Indian Drug Manufacturers Associations, Bulk Drug Manufacturers Associations. So these timelines, 6 years support, and the rate of incentive have all been discussed in detail, because we had the experience of our earlier PLI scheme that we came out last year, the production linked incentive scheme for bulk drugs. So based on the experience of that scheme as well as the inputs of the industry, we came out with this scheme. Mm-hmm. As far as the issue of dumping is concerned, the government is mindful of the possible scenario or threat of such a dumping to take place. For that, we have sufficient policy instruments with us. We have Director General of Trade Remedies, which can look into the complaints of dumping. And other than that, the options of using the tariff option that we have is always with the government. So on that account, we have assured the industry and the investors that there should be no concern on that account. The government is ready and willing to take all possible steps to face to help the industry face any such eventuality, and we are sure that the industry would not face any problem on that account.
Okay, so dumping is being taken care of. The issue of dumping, PLI scheme is one aspect out there. Apart from that, Mr. Rinwai, if we do a holistic review of the kind of policies which have been put in place, for quite some time now, if you look at the entire pharmaceutical industry, then how would you see, these policies bringing that incremental change and adding on every new policy, adding on to the previous one? So if you could just, make our viewers understand the chain of links which establishes between all these policies and then culminates towards the PLI incentive scheme, which has just been recently announced.
Vishal, first of all, I would like to share with the viewers that the exports of drugs from India, if we see the three quarters from 1st April 2020 to 31st December 2020, that is during the pandemic, it has increased by 12.5% compared to the exports in the corresponding period of the previous year when there was no pandemic. So our industry is doing very well on that account. And the government has constantly been coming out with policy interventions, with schemes to support the industry. As I mentioned, that last year we came out with 4 very important schemes: the production linked incentive scheme for bulk drugs, for medical devices. We came out the bulk drug park scheme, where 3 mega bulk drug parks will be established by state governments with support of central government, 4 medical devices parks. And now we're continuously engaging with the industry stakeholders as well as various regulators for pharmaceuticals as well as for medical devices to ensure that unnecessary regulatory compliance burden is reduced, duplicacy of submitting information to various regulators is reduced. There is a clear-cut, predictable regulatory pathway, and the effort is to create a single window of regulatory system for the manufacturers so that they do not have to run to each department for taking approvals of the various kinds. Now we know that pharmaceutical is a highly regulated sector. We have the Central Drug Standard Control Organization for ensuring safety and efficacy of drugs. We have the National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority, which fixes the ceiling prices of essential drugs and monitors price increases of non-scheduled drugs. We have the state pollution control boards, which look after the pollution-related aspects of bulk drugs, which is a highly polluting industry, so on and so forth. So the effort continuously is to ensure that the regulations are streamlined so that unnecessary time delays do not happen, as Mr. Multani mentioned. For example, a long-standing demand of bulk drug industry for years was that the approval, the prior environment clearances that the pollution control boards give should not be given in the name of individual products for a particular bulk drug, rather than a single category of bulk drugs and intermediates, so that if they want to change some products, they should not have to go again back to the state pollution control boards to take environment clearance and spend months in that action. Similarly, for other kind of regulators, various kinds of actions have been taken. The license that is given to a manufacturer now is in perpetuity unless it is cancelled on basis of some complaints or some inspections. Similarly, for export related various kind of permissions, many liberalized actions have been taken, which help the industry in coming out with products faster, so that they can focus on their core area of production rather than the regulation related complex issues. A committee has been formed in Ministry of Health of all the regulators, of which pharmaceuticals was also a part, which had examined the issue of how we can reform the regulatory system. Department of Pharmaceutical has formed a committee on medical devices where all the regulators, be it CDSCO, Atomic Energy Regulatory Board, or the BIS, or Ministry of Electronics, they are all, NPP are on board along with industry associations. So all these schemes as well as policy measures in pharmaceuticals, we have a foreign direct investment up to 74% on automatic route. That is, investor need not come to government for any permission. Beyond 74%, up to 100% is also allowed. There, the Department of Pharmaceuticals gives approval within a time-bound manner. For medical devices, foreign direct investment is allowed up to 100% on automatic route. So there are many measures which the government has taken for new companies that are formed and start production before 31st March 2023. The corporate income tax is just 15%, very competitive vis-a-vis the competing economies. So all these measures have slowly but surely led to an enthusiasm within the industry and investors regarding India as a destination where manufacturing of pharmaceuticals and medical devices should take place. Even in the pandemic, you must have seen that for all essential drugs, for whether it's hydroxychloroquine, paracetamol, favipiravir, etc., which came out at various points of time. And India not only produced it sufficiently for its own people, we exported these drugs across the country.
Definitely. That
Even
has
the
been
vaccines,
that
whether
is
it's Covishield or Covaxin, we are not only providing to our population but across the country. So India's position as a reliable provider of medicines, even during critical times, has solidified, and it has earned a lot of goodwill for India across the world. And this would really help us because the countries of the world are now thinking of diversifying their
Okay.
supply chains. And in that scenario, India stands a good chance of taking up this opportunity. And that's why government is really coming out with every month, passing time, new incentives, new schemes, new policy decisions that would
Okay.
support our industry in taking use of this opportunity.
Okay, definitely. That's quite an holistic sum up there by Mr. Rinwa, and obviously he's right when he says that there is a lot of opportunity at global level. Let's also, take one final comment from Mr. Multani as well. Mr. Multani, that was quite a long and holistic list of what exactly is being done and all aspects it almost is covered. So, from the industry's point of view, are there any more suggestions which you would, want to give to the government, since Mr. Rinwa is here, to the Department of Pharmaceuticals, wherein, in future course, if the policies further, if a tweak is required, may be tweaked in a better manner?
Whatever Mr. Rinwa has said, one totally seconds that. The intention of our central government is outstanding. Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have seen in COVID-19 that we have to stand on our own 2 feet. So we strongly support whatever policies have been announced by the central government. You see, India today is the 3rd largest in the world by volume and 14th largest in terms of value. Now, our pharmaceutical sector can be a game changer like the IT sector was for the country. All what we need is that whatever the central government is saying goes down to the states level.
Okay.
There should be definitely ease of doing business and total reduction in cost of doing business. Today, industry wants to move out of China, but how much of industry has reached India so far? So now we need to really work on that. And like I said, just like the IT sector, our healthcare sector is simply outstanding. Give us a level playing field, and we can be definitely number 1, 2, 3 in the world.
Okay, definitely. That sums up a lot of aspects there, a level playing field, something which towards which the government is working with its policies out there. Thank you so much, Mr. Pradeep Multani, as well as Mr. Navdeep Rinwa there, for giving us both sides of, the view here, both viewpoints, not only from the government's perspective as to what policies are, but also from the industry's perspective as to how those policies, those decisions, those tweaks which are being made from time to time are actually helping on the ground and can be further implemented in a better way. So this was an holistic overview of the Indian pharmaceutical industry, the way things are going on right now, the kind of policies which are there, and specifically the PLI, the Production Linked Incentive Scheme, which has recently been approved by the government for this particular sector, and the kind of impact it might have on the industry and also Indian pharmaceutical industry in the global scenario. We'll come back again with a different topic, different aspect of the Indian economy, different sector, and we'll try and find out how that particular sector can be reset and reassessed to try and achieve the goals of the future. So stay tuned to Rajya Sabha Television. Thank you.